Hello and welcome to yet another Robin Day School video. Started off with a recall, just using his name. He did just fine. And then I wanted to work on retrieve with the antler. However, he was a little resource guardy today. He did growl at me. His resource guarding is kind of mild with me from what I've seen. He just, if I move my hand towards the object, he just stands over it really rigid and puts his mouth on my hand. He doesn't put his teeth on me. He just kind of puts his chin on my hand. So we didn't really get to work on the antler retrieve because as soon as that happened, I wanted to work on the resource guarding and counter conditioning the action of my hand coming towards the toy. So if I reach towards the toy or the antler or whatever it is, and he does not bolt over it, he gets a treat. If he does, then I'll gently step in between him and the thing. And right there, my shoe got stuck in the antler, which was confusing for me and him. Those things happen. You just try to gently step between them. I don't really say anything. I might say no. And then I tried again to reach for the thing. He let me, and he got a handful of treats. I would not do this with dogs that do bite, just fair warning. Resource guarding is very particular, dog to dog, and I don't want anybody to get injured, but I don't think Robin would attack my foot or anything. So then I gave him that little chirpy toy that you gave me. And I really wish I had higher value treats here. I should have thought about that. But basically, I just let him have it. And I want him to know that I can give you good things and there doesn't have to be conflict. So I'm petting him. I'm offering him treats. He does take the treats intermittently and drops the toy. And so I praise him for that verbally. And I was not going to take this toy away from him unless he tried to swallow it, but he did not. He was just kind of swishing it around in his mouth and chewing on it, which, fine. So we did quite a few repetitions of, here's some treats. He takes the treats, drops the thing. If he doesn't take the treats, it's fine. I'm not trying to get him to drop it at this moment. But I'll also pet him. I also put my hand on the top of his mouth right there just for a second. And then went back to petting him just so he knows that, that action does not need to be a conflict. And then eventually he takes these treats I've put on the floor, and I sneaked that little toy out of there because he killed it. It no longer made the fun chirpy sounds. And every time I'm holding my hand out, I have treats in it. I'm offering them to him, and if he doesn't take them, I'll just keep offering. He doesn't have to at this moment. And I very smoothly snuck the toy out of there, and then I threw treats to the opposite side to distract him while I took it. And then we immediately went into something else, so I could keep his attention on me versus where did that thing go.
Yeah, good boy. Good boy.
Trying to keep me fun and engaging. So I don't want to go from conflict into something boring. And then I tried down, and he really surprised me today. It was wonderful. I didn't have the same mouthing problem as I did last time.
That was good.
I've just been trying to get him to anticipate that hand gesture with doing the action versus having to move it all the way to the ground, because that was what was slipping him up and making him mouth at my hand.
Good boy. Yes. Good job.
I'm not saying the word down yet until after he does it and just saying, good down, Robin. But I will start pairing the word with that hand gesture probably the next time.
That's a good boy.
This is a catch me if you can game, and if you do catch me, you get treats.
Yes. Good job, buddy.
Kind of like the opposite of when you're trying to catch him and he's playing catch me if you can. It builds drive and a little bit of frustration, good frustration, to get back to you. So it's a good game to play. Really low key, not stressful. This is like a tiny tidbit of like what might help build a relationship and trust is I sprinkled some treats on the floor. Most dogs could see them. He has to really focus in order to see them. So what I'm doing is tapping my foot near where the treats are. He comes over, sniffs, finds a treat, goes, huh, my handler is helping me find food. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should look to them more often.
So good.
Something like that. Super easy. You can do it in grass or flat surface or whatever. Whereas having them find treats by themselves builds confidence in themselves, which is also good. So then, because the retrieve with the antler didn't work because he resource guarded it, I wanted to work with a dumbbell, which I'm not sure if he's ever seen before or not, but
Yes.
it is a novel object. He probably will not resource guard it because it's not like a chewy toy type of thing like an antler is. It doesn't have good smells like the antler does.
Yes.
So I am just presenting it and rewarding when he puts his mouth on the correct part,
Yes.
which is the middle of the dumbbell, not the sides. So this way we can build the behavior and what's expected and what is rewarded without also having the conflict of he wants this thing just to himself because it's high value.
Yes. Good boy.
You'll notice I'm not saying anything. I'm just kind of free shaping it. Except for yes, when he does the right thing, obviously. I want to mark the point in time where he does the correct thing. So I ignore him when he mouths at the edges of it and just wait him out, and then he eventually gives me the desirable place to put his mouth.
Yes.
And he realizes when he does that it didn't get a yes, so then he tries it again in the correct spot. We tried door manners. He was just fine. The idea is if he goes towards the door shuts, which he picked up very quickly. And then I wanted a little more space, so I used spatial pressure. Then he got very distracted. He really did not care to go out of the door.
I know, you don't really even want to go out there.
There are plenty of things to do in the training center, so he does not care to leave.
You're fine.
This is basically what I had been doing by tossing a treat and then letting him hit the end of the leash and then rewarding him when he came back and turned off the leash pressure. It's just distraction training and responding to that leash pressure. And these toys could be anything when you work with him at home on this. It could be a smell on a tree, it could be a park bench, it could be another dog, it could be a person, could be toys, could be food, could be a dead bird. Casual interest is okay, especially if I slip up and give him too much leash. I'm not going to fault him for that. Like here, he does get this toy, and I'm like, hey, you want to trade? And he does. And I rewarded him pretty heavily for that. And then make myself more fun than the toys laying still on the floor. And he does get the toy there, which is fine. I kind of threw it in a bad spot. But then to get him to drop it, I just did gentle upwards leash pressure. He dropped it, we traded. Good stuff. And then he wasn't so interested. And I know I look like a treat dispenser here, but I mean, with how distracted he gets, especially outside and things, I want this to be every time you do the right thing, you get a treat. And then I gave him a toy he could have, and we played with it. And he got to chew on it for a good couple minutes. I just let him do that, because he did good ignoring the other toys.